Okay, here we go. I'm going to do a voiceover for this video because it was so windy out that there was no way that you were going to hear me talk over the wind. If you remember, this hive had a swarm move into it on the 9th of June, or 10th of June, I should say, the 10th of June. And it's been 9 days since then, and I just want to take a quick peek inside. Because just the activity, it's bugging me. The activity has been really slow as far as bees coming and going, and I haven't been seeing much pollen coming in at all. After they moved in, we had a stretch of about 3 days of rain and cool weather, which pretty much had them cooped up. So Father's Day on Sunday, I had some honey, capped honey on some other frames. I dropped 2 of them in real quick. Took me less than a minute to do it, so they'd have some food. But today I'm going to go in and look into the frames and see if we have a queen that's laying. That was my plan, but you'll see what happens here shortly. Just the activity in this hive has been, I haven't seen much. You see where that arrow was pointing? That's where the hive ends. Right there's the divider board. I'm going to pry the divider board open, so that's how big the hive is from the left over. And the first 2 frames there are the honey frames I put in, and I'm looking in there, and there's bees all over the honey, both frames. One of the frames, though, they're eating the honey from the top down. I don't know why, but they are. So they definitely are eating it, so that's good. I'm seeing bees on the honey frames. There was actually bees on that divider board. I'm seeing a lot of bees at this point. So now we're coming up to the first frame that has partial comb on it. It's not built out all the way because it wasn't built out all the way. And there's bees on that. When I realized these top bars have all been propolized. So now I'm starting to see new comb. I'm seeing them draw out new comb. And there's bees. I'm seeing a lot of bees. At this point, I'm surprised. I'm actually shocked because every frame has bees on it. I don't want to due to the wind and everything, I don't want to take the frames out. I mean, it's really windy, and as I'm separating these frames, I'm noticing that the bees are festering, like where they chain link together between the frames, because they're making comb. They're drawing out comb. So I wasn't going to lift them out. So I'm just sliding them over. I'm looking down in between, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. This hive is packed. I cannot believe the amount of bees in here because when I put my ear to the hive this morning, I heard nothing. I heard very little of nothing, and that got me worried. And there was no bees flying this morning at first light. But I'm actually shocked. I can't believe all the bees that I'm seeing in this hive. But right now, my concern is to get this over with quick. I decided to stop here because the population's starting to get heavy on these last few frames, and I don't want to really mess them up. They're building. I see them building. I did not see any capped brood on any of the comb. Of course, it's dark in there. I'm trying to look at the best, look in as best I can look in. But that's what I was looking for, to see if I see any capped brood, and I couldn't see any. But all the bees were working the cells. There was more than enough bees in this hive to do what they got to do. I just hope there's a good queen in here, and she's going to start laying. I mean, there's no reason for her not to be laying. She's got some room to lay. So, but like I noticed when I was separating the frames, the bees were festering. If you haven't heard that term before, it's when they link together like a chain, arm in arm. And I just didn't want to disturb them anymore. And one thing I noticed about these bees is that they are very docile. As you see, I don't even need to use a smoke. They weren't coming at me. I was face to face with them. and they could care. They didn't have a care in the world, not a care in the world. So I put the divider board back, and those frames there you see on the right, all those frames have honey, but the bees can't get to it because of the divider board and the way the hive is configured. So yeah, things are looking good. I'll probably come back in a couple of weeks. I don't need to come back every week on this hive. Let them go. The weather, we're going to have some really scorching weather next week into the 90s. We finally just broke into summer. We've been so cool and wet, it ain't funny. And like I said, they're building in there, but my main concern now is that I got a good queen in there and that she's going to do what she has to do, because the workers are doing what they're doing, and but I don't see much pollen coming in at all. I do see some, but not a lot. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and pray that we got a good queen in here. In a couple of weeks when I come back in, we'll have cat brood, eggs, etc. Like I said, I wasn't going to pull the frames out. There was no reason for it. I could clearly see what was going on. And the wind is just, it's horrible. And like I said, the bees really did not care I was there. But I feel kind of bad because I did break all their propolis seal on the top bars. But we're into summer now, so you don't want to do that when it's cold, in the winter and stuff like that. You don't want to break those seals. I'm just trying to look for some bees. They're coming and they're going. They come out of the hive and they make a beeline to the woods. Some go across the field. Then there's bees coming back. The bees coming back without pollen, I don't know if they're bringing in nectar or what. But they're definitely coming back from doing something.